Welcome to today's episode. Is a university degree still a worthy investment? That's the discussion that we are going to have today. Let me start with a simple basic idea. Investing 101. Anywhere you put money for a particular period of time, you expect some form of return. And an investment, by definition, is money and time given up today for a greater value tomorrow. Look at it. You invest today, you give it time, but you put your money for a greater value tomorrow. Examples: if you invest in land today, you expect appreciation some years to come. If you invest in business today, you expect cash flow. And if you invest in either bonds or money market funds or savings, you still expect income and preservation. Education is no different. And a university degree is not just an academic decision from a student point of view or a parenting responsibility for a parent, it's a financial investment. Why does it qualify to be a financial investment? Because it requires money, fees, which is fees, time, study, duration, and opportunity cost, leaving other things so that you can pursue it. And so, like any other investment, we should evaluate a degree by how much it costs, how long it takes, the probability of returns, and the risks involved. For decades, the assumption in Kenya and globally at large has been simple: get a degree and opportunities will follow, because education is the key. But we are no longer living in 1996. The economy has changed. The job market has significantly changed as well. And technology has changed so much, but is still changing. So the real question is not, is education important? Because education will always matter. The real question is this: is a university degree as it currently exists still delivering reliable returns for most people, both in Kenya and globally? And that's what we are going to examine. That's the discussion that we are going to have analytically, logically, and using data without emotions. Let's look at some data center, some data. Part one: the employment and absorption reality in Kenya. Employment, and what rate of those who finish school are absorbed. So basically, employment. So every year, Kenyan universities release hundreds of thousands of graduates into the job market. But the formal economy, the economy that we are in, creates far fewer new jobs. Now, this creates a structural problem. Let me explain. Where we have got more graduates graduating, fewer suitable roles, and slower absorption rate. In return, we end up having many graduates take years before securing stable employment. People take 5 years, 3 years, others 2 years, others 10 years before securing employment. Other graduates take roles that are related to their field of study, while others take jobs that do not require a degree at all. This is not judgment on graduates. This is the reality in the market. Employment is not guaranteed by effort. Employment is constrained by demand. Part number two, the career mismatch problem. One of the clearest signals that something is wrong is this: that a large number of people in Kenya work in careers that they did not train for. Someone studies one field but survives in another field. Someone studies engineering but they work in law. Someone studies law, but they work in another field. And this information is out in the public. Someone studies a very different thing, but they end up working or surviving in a very different field. Normally, this is explained as flexibility, but from an investment point of view, it tells me a deeper story, a deeper narrative. If you invest time and money into a specific pathway, and later on abandon that thing, that pathway, just to earn a living, then the investment did not perform well. It did not perform as intended. It means that the investment vehicle underperformed. And this is happening at scale and at a very large scale. Let's look at the education versus market gap. When you combine these things, graduate unemployment, long absorption periods, career mismatch, and underemployment, we come up with the conclusion, we come up with an observation, which is unavoidable, that there's a growing gap. A gap between what the education system is producing and what the market actually needs. There's always a mismatch, a gap. Universities are producing degrees in large numbers, but the economy is absorbing only a fraction of them, and often in roles that do not justify the cost or duration of that education. This does not mean that education has got no value. Get me clear, it has got value. It means that we have got a problem with alignment, that the alignment is broken. And in investment, when alignment is broken, even very good returns will struggle to deliver. Very good investments will struggle to deliver returns. I'll repeat that. Anytime we have, when alignment is broken, even very good investments will struggle to deliver returns. Let's look at career reality with the mindset that not all degrees carry the same risk. It's important that we balance. There are careers that remain relatively resilient. There are fields like this prestigious field, like fields like medicine, certain branches of engineering, law with strong specialization, and other regulated professions with clear pathways. These careers, they still offer strong probabilities of employment. But even here, in this career that I've mentioned, the outcome depends on a number of factors. For example, institution quality. Someone studies in these universities has more chances of getting employed than someone studied in the other university. Another factor, specialization. For example, a doctor who specializes in brain surgery is more likely to get a job faster than a doctor who specializes in another thing. Those are just my observations. Then market saturation. How many people are already inside the market? And then geographical demand. A degree alone is no longer enough. The margin for error has become smaller. Let's look at the global umbrella, the World Economic Forum and the Future of Jobs report. So let's zoom out and look at at a global scale. Now, according to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report in last year, the global labor market is undergoing rapid transformations. By that I mean the trends are changing, and we have got key trends. What is happening now? Things like automation, artificial intelligence, decline of routine cognitive work, and rising demand for analytical, technical, and adaptive skills. So, what's important here is this: more of the skills in the highest demands are not being prioritized in traditional degree structure. At the same time, universities continue producing graduates in the fields with limited absorption capacity. Now, what does this do? It continues to widen the gap. Let me explain in simpler terms. According to the World Economic Future of Jobs report, the jobs that are going to be more valuable are very different from the jobs, from the trainings that are happening in the universities. So it continues to create a gap between what the market needs vis-a-vis what is being produced in the universities. Finally, let's look at AI and job security. AI is not simply taking jobs, it's eliminating routine work, compressing entry level roles, and rewarding people who can leverage it. Some jobs will disappear, some will evolve, and some will become more valuable. By this now, this is what I mean, that degrees that are tied to repetitive tasks, if you're doing a degree that is tied to repetitive tasks, a degree that is tied to generic outputs, or a degree that's tied to low differentiation, you face higher risks. But degrees that are tied to judgment, human responsibility, regulation, and high accountability, they remain to be more resilient because the future of jobs report predicts that these are the fields that will be more valuable. All in all, skills, you still require skill depth to study a lot in a particular skill. Again, it's clear for me to say this is not fear mongering. It is known as risk assessment when it comes to investing. Now, let's go to part 3. What are the recommendations? So, what does this imply? We have to start thinking on how we reset our minds. It means that the question is no longer should I go to the university, because we've said that universities are still good. The question is this: under what conditions does a university degree still make sense as an investment? I'll repeat that just to be clear. Under what conditions does a university degree still make sense as an investment? And so I came up with 4 principles that will help you to answer this question. Principle number 1: a degree must be paired with market relevant skills. A degree alone is not sufficient. Skills create income, while degrees provide the context and the credibility for you to get that income. Without skills, degrees will struggle to convert into returns. And that is why you'll find so many people with degrees, but they have not been able to convert those degrees into returns. So when you're doing a degree, pair it with the market relevant skills. Principle number 2: education must be informed by market reality so that we don't have a mismatch. We should not choose degrees based on popularity, prestige, or past outcomes. We should choose degrees based on demand, absorption rates, skill shortage, and long-term relevance. For how long are you going to be relevant in the market? Principle number 3: time to return matters. In investment, time matters. If something takes 4 years or 5 years or 10 years or undefined amount of time before an investment produces returns, that risk must be acknowledged honestly. And I want to give you an example. If you invest your money in a bank, or you invest your money in an investment vehicle, and they tell you that it's going to take 10 years for you to get returns, or it's going to take undefined amount of time for you to get returns, I think it's high time you ask yourself the question that is it a worthwhile investment? Principle number 4, the last one: degrees should increase optionality. Options, not trap you. A good investment expands the choice and gives you choices that you can do A, B, and C. If education locks someone into a narrow or oversaturated path, the risk profile is high. As I come to conclusion, let me leave you with a final thought. The reason we invest is simple. We invest because we expect returns, either for ourselves, for our children, or for any person who we are trying to help so that they can build a better future. If you are paying school fees for your child, you are paying it for them so that the future can become better. So you are foregoing the present value for the future value, future expected value. And as you have defined an investment by definition is time and money given up today for a greater value tomorrow. So here is the uncomfortable question that we must ask ourselves honestly and seek an answer. If an investment takes 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, or an quantifiable amount of time before producing meaningful returns, or if the returns depends on luck and probability, then from an investment point of view, is it still a worthy investment? This is not a question about intelligence. It's not a question about effort. It's a question about allocation. And that's the question that I want you to think as even you watch this video. That's the end of this video. If you haven't subscribed, as you can see, we share deep value, we share deep content. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye bye for now.